Good evening. Welcome to Astrology Throwdown tonight. So glad to have you here. I am really excited about something I just watched on the blog. It was Elvis and his father singing George on My Mind. And I felt like I was watching history because there's just so much incredible talent that I was witnessing. And they were playing with the Joe Loss Orchestra. And I just couldn't believe how incredibly elegant Joe Loss was. Just such polish, such finesse. I love that. Ugh, it's hard to see someone who's so refined themselves. So I just want to mention how amazing that was, and how how beautiful it was just for me to see how respectful and admiring Elvis was of his father. And we all know we have complicated relationships with our parents, but I was really impressed and inspired by that. Just such a gentleman. Anyway, so I have a little bit of a story I want to tell about 2019. 2019 is when they, in quotes, started coming to my house. And of course, it was the weekend of the Trump fundraiser. They are behind Trump, okay? They. Find out who's behind Trump. That's them, okay? Anyway, so there's a big Trump fundraiser in the Hamptons. And then they were trampling on my property and driving around and walking around with flashlights 2 in the morning and just doing all kinds of things to let me know, we know where you live. Okay, I know exactly. I know you guys know where I live. Okay, you guys have so much attention for me and my house since 2018. So I said that wrong. They've been paying attention to me since 2018. I only started noticing them coming to my house 2019. So I'm they feel this need to control everybody, everybody's mind, everybody's actions, all that stuff. So I'm not under their control because I'm actually under someone else's control. That's the crazy part. Anyway, so I signed up with the godly side of things, and that's who I listen to. So obviously, everything I'm told to do is not what they want done because they are from the other side. And that's what we do. I do what I'm told, and they, I guess, do what they're told. And that's the show we're watching right now. And that show is Our Lives. So I was guided when they started bringing the Lincoln Town cars around the house to let me know, oh, those are the polished government looking cars. So they're letting me know we're in with the government too. Now, what are you going to do? Okay, these are very immature people, okay, who just play games. I don't think they ever grow up. And yeah, they are in with the government. So congratulations. There's all these Satanists in the government. Is that they're intimidating, the Satanists are intimidating me that they're in the government. Okay. I just, that's where we're at. That's my reality. Okay. So Satanists are like flaunting to me that they're in the government with the fundraisers, the Trump fundraisers. Do you see how this works? These are criminals. These are criminal actors. And they, something with secret societies, and they put on all these shows. It's all fake. It's all fake. And they're just constantly trying to trick people. They're just having so much trouble, like getting me to do what they want me to do. I can tell they want me to attack celebrities. Oh, there's some celebrities for me to attack, right? I can just feel them. Attack celebrities! You know you want to. For years, they've been trying to get me to attack celebrities. And I did a little, but not because of them. Don't even take the credit for that. That was my plan. That's what I was supposed to do. Okay? And then I guess he got really excited, like, oh, she's falling for it. I was not falling for it. I was taking the bait and the trap that was set for me, like I always do. They have to put bait in the trap. Traps don't work without bait. So what do? I steal the bait and I walk away from the trap. Time and time again. That is basically the essence of my project. It's the bait I took from their traps because they have all the money and they are good at publicity. They are good publicists. They're good at being publicists. They're actually that's who I learned from. So It's so funny. This whole thing's I said this the other day. Since the Grand Conjunction in 2020, I think everything's a comedy now. I'm not the suffering and the pain, and boy, I feel the pain. I have anguish of my own, believe me. So I'm not saying everything's a joke. It's not, but everything's kind of funny now. I'm noticing things that used to be serious, like Victor Strasky Club, are a joke now. And no one's noticed that. And it's just so hard to take such jokes seriously. They're Satanists. Victor Strasky Club is a bunch of Satanists. Okay, no, 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 Satanists are Luciferians. Okay, you're Luciferian. You win. That's how it is. That's that. These are the slavers of the world. These are our slavers. Are a joke. And we just, oh, we're so scared of them. No, they're not that tough. Just arm yourself. And if they come for you, defend yourself. They're just people. Look, we gotta get strong. Don't be scared of these people. They're wimpy. Haven't noticed these people are wimpy. Yes, they are killers, they're murderers, and they have sick minds, but they're wimpy if you look at them. Okay, so hand to hand, we need to get stronger if we're that scared of them. Please, my people. Okay. So what happened in 2019 when they started swarming my house with their government cars? I know you guys are in the government. It's amazing. Okay. Our government has all these Satanists in it. And they're running things and they're telling us to get injections and they're lying to us about things and they're killing my mother and they're doing all kinds of things to get their satanic way. And they've been doing this since, who knows? But I have come out with all of these books like The Trial of Henry Kissinger and Frank the Cover Up and Udo Afkadi revealed how intelligence agencies are fomenting war in Germany. Oh my goodness, this fomenting war in the media, that is homicidal. Okay. If the media is trying to make us fight and trying to foment wars, that's terrorism, right? Okay. So these people are day in, day out committing terrorism on television. All the people who are fomenting wars right now are committing terrorism. Okay. That is not a good use of technology. See how they use technology to play tricks with us because they are tricksters. I mean, seriously, please, my friends, we have to disconnect from them. They can call themselves whatever they want. Aleister Crowley aficionados, whatever they are. Okay, rock and rollers, whatever they want to call themselves is fine. We got to get away from them. Let them enjoy their lifestyle, please. Any children, we have to protect them. They're not safe for children, for sure. Okay? Oh my goodness, no. Let them just be adults without children around them. And we have to get away from them. Wow. I've had dark occultists, I guess it's the right thing to call them, dark occultists after me since 2017. Just day in, day out, day in, day out. When you have them after you like that, you really find out who they are. Wow. They shouldn't be running everything. Anyway, so I keep getting off my point, and I'm really kind of embarrassed about that. The point is, when the Satanists came to my house in their government cars the weekend of that Trump fundraiser, I remember that very, very distinctly. That was in August 2019. And I heard my guidance say, that's it, you're staying home. And that's it. I was told that, like, you're not going anywhere anymore. That's what I heard from my end. That's what I was told. And okay, whatever, fine. I just say yes. So, and then I was told to learn astrology. And just like I'm doing it now, but in a more incipient form. So, what did I find out? Just how interesting things are. So, I had the dark occultists really trying to scare me at my house. My guidance said, basically, you're staying home. You're staying home right now. You're not going anywhere. So if they don't tell me to go, I don't go. That's the end of it. That's what happened. And then they said learn astrology. So the whole fall, I I learned astrology and I wrote about astrology and everything that I was getting from all the astrologers that I was listening to, and I was just listening to everybody just to get the temperature of what are the astrologers saying right now, uh, fall of 2019, and they were all saying it's it's about to hit the fan. Okay, that's what they were all saying. It was scary the way they were talking. Okay, they were all saying that. If you heard, if you could hear them, if you were sensitive, if if you're intuitive, you could hear them saying that. They were very worried. And then the more you get into astrology, the more you realize it is real. It's completely real. And they did know, and they were right. And they were scared. And it was all centered on January 12th, 2020, the conjunction between Saturn, the sun. Oh, don't let me forget Pluto. Okay, death, constriction, imprisonment, and fame. Big time. Okay? So, like you said, even while I was learning about it, I heard them start up with the corona. I was like, look, there's the sun. There they go. And I was just watching them. Of course, I didn't take I know what they are. They care about our health. Isn't that funny? That's the funniest thing of all. They're out to kill us and they care about our health. And we're supposed to do things for our health because they said so. Hilarious. Okay? So there it was. I just watched them roll it out. And then they put their guy in my neighborhood like they need to do. How many of them are stationed around my house right now? That's going to be real interesting because they don't get to operate in my country legally. Oh, no, no, no. I learned that in Victor Strasky. No, 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 no. They don't get to operate in this country. Not like that. This is ridiculous. We have a foreign spy agency filling our government with Satanists, okay? Who go around intimidating me because I am exercising my God given rights under the law of the United States. And I have a foreign spy agency all around my house right now. Okay? That's not legal at all. At all. And this is happening in Long Island, New York, right now. This is unbelievable. The encroachment, the infringement, the trampling of my rights. Unbelievable. Wow. And then they guilt trip us about everything. And oh, I'm a bad person if I leave the house because I'm going to get somebody sick. I'm healthy, actually. Or why can't I go do things? This is unbelievable. We're letting dark occultists. They make the rules because they put their criminals in the top spots because they have money because they run the financial system. This is crazy, unbelievable. And why isn't everybody just doing what I'm doing and running around and doing something about this? This is crazy. I, can you imagine people this docile? Like, what are we really sheep? I think sheep would have more. I don't want to sell people too much. But oh my goodness, it's scary, but this is our life, and this is a gang of probably vampires. I think they eat children. Is that not clear yet? How many times they eat children? They're whoa, they're running everything. Okay, and this came out in the 80s, and guess who covered it up? The U.S. media covered it up. See, so they ran the U.S. media at least since the 80s because the media did everything to cover up that some very wealthy entity has an organized system to gather up children to torture and eat. That came out in the 80s, and the media's been covering that up since then. So that's who runs the media since the 80s. Okay, so this whole thing is probably so they can get their food. And then look how long they live. They live to 105, most of them. Have you seen David Rockefeller? You see, like at night, look at Henry Kissinger. Wow. Right there in the saddle at 98. He's just large and in charge at 98 years old. Amazing. That's it. They have very different lifespans. Do they have some kind of interesting edge there with their food. This is very interesting and very important to explore because if you read the Franklin cover up, you realize they're not even checking how many children disappear. That means that this is so deeply entrenched at the institutional level. See, the whole government is set up to not count how many children are disappearing. Since the 80s, this is horrific. Okay, that's how powerful this dynasty is, and this is how important it is that they can get their food. And James Lafayette, this Instagram, it's if you want to see it, see what it looks like. It's a market on Instagram. This is real. I went through all of this, and then they run their little psyops. Oh, it's been debunked. They run these parallel trips, publicity trips, to just sort of like distract and confuse the real thing that's all too real. And that hasn't been refuted at all. That was like a market where they were selling children, babies. Okay, this is, and then they confuse you, and they do all this stuff so you can't. It tricks. It's just all trick, and it's all tricks to protect the baby market they're running. They were on Instagram, Okay, this is right in our faces happening, and then the whole media covers it up. And then people said to my house, "You see how hijacked our country is, and who's hijacked it? Okay, who? People that have to get children. That's who's hijacked our country since at least the 80s. And the whole institutions and the media have all been covering it up the whole time. This is the horrible truth. Oh my goodness, the truth, it scares you witless. Oh my goodness. That's I Want You, sung by Elvis Costello. Truth scares you witless. Yeah, it does scare you witless. But in time, you'll see things clear and stark. Unfortunately, I think we're there. We are seeing things clear and stark. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. But I haven't been talking about it because it's so horrific to talk about, but it's so obvious. Since 2018, this is obvious. Every single arrow points in this direction, and it involves the puppets that they run for office. Those are all puppets, so they can keep their system, and then they live longer than the rest of us. So this food somehow does give them an edge. This is incredible. The truth is the truth. Just look at what's going on, and oh gosh, so they know something about blood probably, and they can live longer, and they have to get all that blood to be. I don't know. Are they vampires? I haven't been. I don't like to go there to this degree like this. Are they vampires? What's their food? But how are we letting them run everything? They control the sky. I can't even anything without. I'm being patrolled at my house. It cannot be this way. It absolutely cannot be this way. So yeah, I'm gonna say what I was gonna talk about tomorrow. I was gonna talk about my Mars return. The reason I can't get to the topic is because I think that they were setting up World War III in 2020 because the astrology was just so for World War III. 2020 had all these squares with Mars and Pluto and Saturn, and everything was set up for the biggest war imaginable. It was cartoonish. It was cartoonishly World War III, the astrology in 2020. Okay, fine. So then the media, what's the media doing? They're completely trying to whip up wars all of 2020. Okay, so the media is, openly satanic, openly homicidal, openly criminal, just totally criminal. Okay, there's this wonderful opportunity for war, and they're doing everything to whip up war. So that shows you right there how the television is so in sync with it's just witchcraft. The witchcraft. The witches want war now, and they own the media and they're going to force the world into war with all of their tricks. That to me was 2020. That's what I experienced. So the whole of 2020, what was I doing? I was trying to offset that. And I was trying to say, yes, this is a very bellicose energy. It is, but we can use it for our purposes. So I did my best. And that whole year, I watched Mars and I studied it to learn, just to observe it, to see. Certainly, the chart said it was going to be bellicose. Certainly, it was bellicose. So, even at that point, I could see this is real. Astrology is real. They launched their big BS story right on time, and then it was the year for the war. So their big BS story was to throw us off, and then they were going to take all of the resentments that they've been pouring into us their whole lives, and then they were going to set us at each other. And they treat us like a bullfight. We're the bulls in the bullfight to them. We're some kind of joke to them, or a cockfight, And they just make the cocks fight. Ha 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 ha. Works every time. They treat us like we're these little lab rats, and I'm so sick of it. So that's what they did. They said, "Fight! We want you to fight now. Go ahead." So 2020, I just tried to somehow deal with that and offset their tricks. But I had a Mars return in 2020. So I had this like really bellicose year. They were trying so hard to get World War III going. Obvious to me. And then Mars is coming back to my natal Mars. It only happens once every 2 years. I was watching it. It was just running back and forth with Eris. Eris is a dwarf planet, recently discovered. Okay. So it's still under observation. They don't really know what Eris is or where to put her, that kind of thing. But Eris is the goddess of discord. So already goddess of discord. I'll just go with that. That's enough for me. We'll see. Is she the goddess of discord or not? Of course, anything can be good or bad. Discord could be used for good. We use discord for good. What's discord? Drama, laughing. That's discord, right? So discord can be used for good. So our Eris is a good goddess of discord, I hope. Anyway, so back and forth, and supposedly she's Mars's sister or something. Who knows? So in 2020, Mars and Eris are like running all over each other, back and forth, retrograde, blah, 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 and they're dancing, like almost literally dancing around, okay? Having a little war dance, okay? Like on my ascendant. I was like, this is so funny. And I have Chiron there too. So I'm so wounded and I'm a very frustrated Mars. I can't I'm like a trapped Mars or something. Pretty much. So yeah, I'm like a sensitive trapped Mars with a lot of really, really, really painful memories. So yeah, in the 12th house, it's hard. It's like a paladin, but very wounded paladin. So yeah, so Mars is coming in. Mars is coming. I'm watching it. 2020. What's this? How is this gonna play out? Because I was in such a Mars life. So it did. It gave me a boost. I remember this. Anyway, so obviously it's Mars return again. It's 2 years later. That's the whole story. So right now we're gonna put this Mars return under observation to see what happens. Okay, because this Mars return is as bellicose, if not more bellicose than the last one. Now let me explain to you why. And that's why we're gonna watch this. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna obsess about it. This Mars return. So supposedly, based on all of these internet articles, I went and read everything I could find about Mars return, and then I put it on the astrology report. I put the charts. So we can look at it. We can think about this. We can study this because it's the project Mars return. It's PR war for just years and years and years. So funny. Anyway, it's really. We'll watch it. That is so. All right. Enough of that. We're gonna put that under observation. It's just that I have a square with Pluto going right now, and Eris is right there again. Okay, so think about that. Eris is kind of a female Pluto, and I have square Pluto on top of my midheaven over my house of career. Think about this, okay? Pluto in Capricorn. Okay, so Pluto is wrecking the governments. Pluto in Capricorn over my house of career, places Saturn. What's the Jupiter? Okay, big international hero's journey in Aquarius of the people. Okay, and then that Pluto is right there, transforming my career, transforming technology, transforming philanthropy, transforming Jupiter, transforming spirituality and knowledge. Okay, so Pluto's transforming these things on top of my chart. Square Mars conjunct natal Mars, which is Mars return. Okay, so Mars is going back to the spot where it was when I was born. So I'm going to get this like Mars birthday, and I'm going to get a whole new, they're going to deliver me my Mars. Okay, the truck's going to back up Mars to me over the next few days. That's the idea. That's what's supposed to happen. And it's going to be square Pluto on this prominent place of career of philanthropy, populism, the hero's journey, adventure, knowledge, religion, real religion, and in Capricorn, which Pluto is like destroying. Okay, so that's what's under observation right now. And Eris is like trying to prove what she really is because we don't even know. We have to study Eris. And we are studying Eris. Which is she going to play a role? Will it be obvious? So, brother and sister warmongers, Eris and Mars, are getting the Mars truck backed up to them right now. Square Pluto over my place of prominence and career and reputation. That has to do something. Okay? If nothing happens, astrology isn't real. I'm putting the whole astrology on the line there because something has to happen. It's too much. It's too potent. It's too much stuff, good or bad. Hopefully not too bad, but or astrology's a lie because it's too much. It's too much like Pluto and Mars and Eris, and it's like it has to be transformative to my my prominence. Has to be, and powerfully so. Or astrology is a lie. There you go. So astrology is now, the clock is ticking. It's funny. We'll figure this out. Okay, so this is a letter from Napoleon to Josephine. And the funny thing is he wrote those rude letters to her. Just here it is, secretly nice Napoleon again. He said, please write to your slaves, and you went to all these cities and you didn't even write me. Those mean letters he wrote. But there was something wrong with her. She didn't write. I don't know what was wrong with her. Just write a letter. There's something wrong with there's something wrong with her. There really was actually, but whatever. No judgment, I guess. So he's like trying to be a little nicer because he heard she was crying because he did have spies. He knew what was going on with everybody because he did have an elaborate. He was so into that because he was also nosy. He loved knowing people's business. These are funny qualities of his. That's his quirky personality. He really had a cute personality. Anyway, so he's trying to be a little nicer because I bet his spies probably said she was crying. Anyway. My love, I have executed some fine maneuvers against the Prussians. I won a great victory yesterday. The enemy numbered 150,000. I have taken 20,000 prisoners, 100 artillery pieces and flags. I saw the King of Prussia and got near him, but failed to capture him. So also as to the Queen, I have been in a bivouac for 2 days. I'm wonderfully well. Adieu, my love. Keep well and love me. If Hortense is at Mayence, give her a kiss. Also into Napoleon and the little one, Napoleon. Mm-hmm. That's Napoleon, right? We know him by now. He has a cute personality. All right. So we are likely to encounter a very similar cute personality here. I officially predict right now, a very similar type of person will pop up in this book right now. Very smart, very quirky, very funny, very unique. So we were just hearing about how Dad, Ross McManus, becomes a little less responsible, and his poor mother has to work much harder because Dad's being a self-indulgent musician. That's sad. Anyway, but that's what we read about yesterday. Once I got settled into my new school, I took a Saturday job at a fancy grocery shop called Cooper's. I needed money for guitar strings, so I tried not to feed my fingers into the baking slicer. Eventually, I saved up enough to begin a hire purchase agreement on an electric guitar from Frank Hesse's shop off Whitechapel. I'd already been chased out of the store a few times for obviously not having any money. Now I was absolutely determined that I was going to buy this small Rickenbacker that would vanish and then reappear on the wall of the shop with strange regularity. Behind the strings, there was always a card that read, formerly owned by George Harrison. After proving that I really did have the money for the initial deposit, I finally got to take the guitar down and try it out. They let me plug it into an amp, but told me not to turn it up too loud. Started to play George Old Rickenbacker. It was a terrible guitar. I quickly found out the reason why it kept disappearing and rematerializing. Anyone who bought it sold it straight back to the shop, as the damn thing was nearly unplayable. So I settled for a white Japanese-made Vox Les Paul, copy with incredibly garish fake gold fittings that left a sparkle of dust on your fingers when you turned up the volume control. It was also a pretty dreadful guitar, but it was in my price range, and I thought holding such a flashy looking instrument might somehow transform me. However, it was also the quietest guitar you'll ever hear, as I couldn't actually afford an amplifier. So I soldiered on with the D-arm and pickup slapped onto my acoustic guitar, which I plugged straight into a PA amp. This ended up being much more original sound, one which I employed right up until 1977. Pretty soon, I decided that playing the electric guitar was passe after I read something in a magazine about people in Laurel Canyon playing something called wooden music. That was good enough for me. We'd been doing that in Liverpool since I'd arrived in the city. I used to walk over to my friend Paul's house in Norris Green, and we'd play down by the river on two acoustic guitars until his mother would throw us out of the house. This is so funny. See, now that the moon is in Cancer, we can maybe experience a small fraction of the nostalgia and the sentimentality that is constantly emanating from Mr. Elvis Costello. I love it. I love it so. Moon in Cancer and Uranus and Jupiter. All right. Have a good evening. Good evening.